What's up?
Oh, hey, there we go. Okay. I'm like, where the hell did my cursor go? Oh, man. What's up, bro?
Yo, episode 5.
Oh, episode 5?
Ancient podcast, that's right.
Damn, already?
Episode 5.
Episode 5. So what's up? How are you?
Fantastic. We fucked up because we were supposed to record this last week. Somehow, I don't know, Serge just convinced me that it was supposed to be this week, and I believed it. And then when I really looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute. And I went back. It was 3 weeks ago that we did the podcast. So
Yeah, because you did it with Serge.
yeah. And so last week we were supposed to record, and then he goes, oh, isn't it supposed to be next week, meaning this week? And I kind of thought about it real quick, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But he definitely wasn't right. We fucked up.
You know what happened? Maybe. Here's my fan theory. My fan theory is that he didn't listen to the episode until the week after it aired.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah.
Could have been, actually.
I'm calling it right now. That's why he was like, no, wait, I just listened to it last week. No, we still got a week. Yo, man.
It's quite possible, actually.
That's probably it.
Oh, well.
100%.
Whatever. We're here now.
Hell yeah.
So.
Did you do anything yesterday or no?
What was yesterday?
Weren't you going to record yesterday?
I did record, but...
Oh, you should, little sound bits, you should throw them in.
Maybe I could do
breaks
that.
And be like...
I'll see if there's anything...
yeah.
If there's anything good in there, maybe throw those on, TikTok and Instagram and shit like that, but...
Yeah, man. We got to start getting sponsors.
I know. Actually, yesterday when I did the solo recording, I didn't hear all of it, but I ended up recording over an hour's worth.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's lit. Let's go.
So I don't know. I mean, I'll take a listen, but I don't think it's anything worth posting. Not at least a full epised, but I'll do some snippets.
Yeah. Even in this one, just it'll be boom, we interrupt because actually, you know what I mean. And then it'll be cool. I don't know. That'd be cool.
We'll see. I'll have a listen.
Can't be wearing the same clothes though. Has to be different clothes. Otherwise, it gets weird.
It was a different shirt.
Okay. Or you could just chop your face, get the face in there. That'd be cool.
I think the one part that I rambled on about, which we can actually talk about, ripping early when breakers.
Oh, so yeah, I have a whole theory about that.
So I hate it, man, and I started to ramble because I just hate it. These manufacturers have these rules, right? And it makes sense. They want everybody to put out the product at the same time. Yeah. So everybody's waiting for it. It's the anticipation, the hype. And then when it comes out, that's what matters. That's, the magic. But when you have these guys going on a day before or even at midnight when you're technically not supposed to be doing that either, because there is a time that has to be released. And so when they do that, I feel like it just takes away from it, and they think they're cool because they're doing it early. But it's not. It's just takes away from that whole hype of just waiting for the moment. That's how I feel. And honestly, even some of these guys who claim they're not real companies, these are breakers, but they aren't really. They're not real companies, so they don't have these accounts with these distributors. And what they do is they have the hookup with their LCS or somebody else they know who gets the product early and gives it to them. Instead of waiting, they do what they want, and there's no strings there because what's going to happen to them? Nothing. They can't get blacklisted.
So there's a couple of different dynamics here that and I'll go through them for my understanding and what's good for the hobby, what's not good for the hobby, and what is good for the consumer and not the consumer. People that don't really know, I'll go into it in detail a little bit. So when the product comes out, there's a street date and you're supposed to sell it on release date, which is usually a Friday, right? And I'll talk about more in the TCG world, and you can talk more about it in the sports world. So TCG, specifically in Pokemon, there's regular sets, and then there's what's called a holiday set or a special set. Now, the regular set is like the expansion. It comes out with a pre-release event, meaning that there's stores that are specifically allowed to run these pre-release tournaments of organized play. They've been selected by Pokemon to run those events, and they get the product 2 weeks earlier to run the pre-release event. And what this means is that they hold small tournaments in their shops for their league players to kind of get a little snippet of the new set. It just makes you get familiar with the cards so that when the set does release, you know what you're looking for, you know what's competitive, you know what's going to be playable, what's not going to be playable, right? So what happens with these stores is that you're allowed to host your tournament 2 weeks prior from the release date. But what happens? The product gets shipped to them that week. Well, that whole week they're shipping out product. So in my store, let's say I get the product on Tuesday or Wednesday, and this is so that I can put it in my system, put it on displays, get the promotional stuff out, get the league out, like, so that you could have it ready on Saturday, right? Which is your pre-release. Now, the rules are, I'm getting into detail here, but I think it's really important so that we understand. You're charging entrance fee to the pre-release tournament. So you're like $25, $30, and you're charging that to get into the tournament. Now, once you're in the tournament, you get the little pre-release box that's called the Build and Battle now, and then you get a couple packs, and then the store has booster boxes to give out prize packs, right? So if you do well on the tournament, depending how many people there are, you get 3 packs, 4 packs. Some people do, like, first place gets like a whole, like 10 packs, like 5 packs, stuff like that. So that's how it works. Now, after the pandemic and after they stopped pre-release or whatever, once they started it again, a lot of these shops lost a lot of like league play, a lot of foot traffic. You know what I mean? With like a million other people selling Pokemon, it just like stopped moving for actual LCSs, LGSs. So what they started doing was they started selling like the build and battles and the booster boxes early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Pokemon's eye, they still have the account that, you have a huge store. They're giving you 3 booster boxes and 3 cases of the build and battles, right? But guess what? No one's coming to your tournament anymore, right? Because it's just like the population's not there. But, Backpack Joe is going to come and be like, hey, yo, let me buy that week, and you're like, fuck yeah, obviously, right? Because it's not going to get stuck here. So that's what's going on. So then that takes us to another level now. Okay, so now the stores are not holding the tournaments now, and they have all this product on hand, and they just want to get rid of it, right? So they're selling it to these guys that are resellers, and unfortunately, these resellers are getting on platforms like TikTok and whatnot, and Drip and Facebook and Instagram, and starting to sell early for a dumb price, which is you upcharge up the ass, because they have it and no one else does. But people, so then the consumer falls into it.
Yeah.
And they fall into it like, why would you buy $10 packs when they were coming out? Like, no one has it. Okay. And then what happens? So then it starts a chain, right? Like Backpack Joe buys it. Then Homeboy buys it off his stream to be the first one to have the hit, to be the first one to submit to PSA, so that you can control the PSA market to sell the slab at its highest. That created this whole culture that when the set comes out, you have those first 2 weeks of pre-release and the week after that and maybe another week to sell anything that you want at the highest of the high, because after that, everyone's going to have it and no one's going to want to buy it anymore. Yeah. Right? So then that kills the market 100%, because now no one wants it anymore, because it came out already. So it's like, oh, everyone's selling it, so it's stupid now to buy it. Like, it's like, come on, That's that side of it, right? That's the side that's really dumb. Check this side out now. If you're a store, okay, and you have the product, and I walk into your store, and I see that you have this set that's coming out on Friday. Let's say it's Tuesday. You have this set on Friday, right? I go and buy it. You sell it to me, charge tax on it, I buy it. It is physically mine now. I own it. So I could do whatever the hell I want with it, right?
Right.
That's the problem, because You and me are under contract to not break the street date, even on an online platform like Whatnot. But Backpack Joe is on Whatnot for some apparent reason, but he has no rules to follow, right?
Yep.
So then Whatnot's going to be like, no, we want his $10 a pack sales. Like, what are you talking about? You're dumb, you know? So the easy solution is to have only, like, I guess people with distro or people that actually run. There's no right answer, because you could be like, and I've been in these chat rooms with all these people that they're like, well, only people that have distributions should be able to sell on Whatnot, right? And it's like, okay, well, what if I only sell vintage stuff? I mean, I have a business, I have an LLC. You can't tell me I'm not a real legit business. I have a resale number, I have a tax exempt number, and I'm selling off collections. I'm flipping here and there. Like, okay, so then where does the line get drawn for that stuff? And it's never going to leave. It's not going anywhere. There's always going to be people selling, especially in the Pokemon world. It's not.
Yeah, even in sports, you can't get it 2 weeks prior, but typically it's on a Wednesday or Friday of release for sports. So what's happening is these stores get their product. Typically, if it's not the same day of release, they'll get it like a day or two before. In sports, we don't have these, tournaments or promos like that.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I actually don't like, kind of similar to that, Panini does it. It's the first off the line product, which they release like a few days before the hobby product.
Uh-huh.
So the first off the line is an exclusive. It's kind of like that, where, okay, this is going to be even more exclusive, and the prices are going to be even crazier. So what you're doing is you're feeding into the people that are waiting for the new product, but putting out this product a few days prior with a much higher price tag. And now people are buying into that stuff, spending money on that by the time, like a few days later, when the hobby product releases, and then you have all these stores and vendors at that point, trying to sell that piece of it, it's like a lot of people already started to spend so much money. So then you get to the hobby and it's like, it's already expensive too, but now it's like they're not buying as much, and you kind of took away from, the anticipation. So you have kind of that going on that, I never like the first off the line stuff for that reason. I feel like it takes away from the release.
Yeah.
Which goes back to these people that are ripping ahead of time.
Yeah.
It just takes away from, that whole anticipation of waiting, almost like how it used to be with, the iPhone, for example, where people waited for that day. You couldn't get it before that day. You had to wait in line. You had to anticipate and really be there and be part of that moment.
Now they just ship it to you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a magic to the hype and the anticipation, and people need to be held accountable. You have a lot of these guys ripping this stuff early on Whatnot, and there's definitely people on that platform that see this happening. Somebody's got to hold somebody accountable, is what I'm trying to say. You can't tell me nobody on Whatnot either works for Topps or Panini or even them themselves that are collectors and know what's going on, or had a business and know what's going on. Like, somebody has to know. You have people that are monitoring the streams for like language.
Yeah.
Like, can't you also monitor, make sure that these people aren't doing things that they shouldn't be doing it, in the sense of ripping early? Like, there's got to be something there.
Well, what also like, it's funny you bring that up, because like I said, I've been on all these platforms, and I can tell you exactly what has happened. Like, this is not Nickelodeon. They didn't give me any hush money,
Hey, Arnold.
But on Drip, there was this huge thing about, are we allowed to break street date? And somebody said, no, we shouldn't. We should respect the people in here that have a legit business, right? So they said, okay, we won't allow it. If we catch you selling, there's going to be consequences. They never said the consequences, because obviously there wasn't any.
Right.
That night, someone was selling Brilliant Stars for $6 a pack, and one of my members unbeknownst. Is that how you use the word? Unbeknownst to me?
Maybe.
Right? That I didn't know about it. Can we do a little definition there? Anyways, he said, "Hey guys, wait for Kanto. He'll have it for $3."
That's great.
Shout out to Kevin.
That's great.
But here's the thing. So it got back like, "Hey, dude, stop telling your people." Like, bro, I didn't say anything. Like, I don't even know this guy like existed, right? So somehow this guy gets in the Discord. And they like, "Yo, let's all go on his stream and tell him like, what the fuck? Why is he breaking street day? Blah, blah, blah." So they all go and they do it because everyone's a keyboard warrior, right?
Right.
And this guy was like, "Why is everyone on my stream right now?" So this guy didn't have Discord. He had no idea there's like a server. There has no idea there's support. This guy was just buying stuff on off the shelf, doing little breaks. Like everyone starts. Everyone starts that way. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everyone starts that way. So he went and he bought a booster box of Brilliant Stars. He doesn't know what street date is. He doesn't know when the set's supposed to come out. He's just like, "Hey guys, I have it," and people are buying it, right? And they're all in there. "You can't break street day. What the hell? Blah, 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 blah." And he brought up a really good point. He goes, "Guys, I can do whatever the hell I want with my product. I legally bought it. I don't know anything about a street day. I don't know anything about a distro. I bought this from a store. I have a receipt. It is my property now.
Right.
And I can sell it on this buy and sell platform."
Right.
Right? And Drip was like, he's kind of right.
Yeah, and those people, I'm not mad at those people,
right? So
because
then,
it's not really their fault.
Right. So then check this out. So then they said, "Okay, we're just going to make this very easy for everybody. If you have distro rules, then you need to follow those rules. If you don't have distro rules, then you don't need to follow those. You don't need to follow the rules." So then you knew who was breaking what. But then obviously, people were sliding product. "Yo, can you break this for me? I'll give you a percentage. I'll get it on Monday, blah, blah, blah." Right. That started happening. But then another weird thing started happening where somebody got an email from their rep at PhD. And the rep said, "Hey, you can break. You just can't ship until street date. So you can break that whole week. You just can't ship it until Friday." And then that created a monster because then Drip was like, "Hey guys, you guys can all break. Just don't ship before release date." So then it was like, okay, so what do we do then? So I asked my rep at the time, and I was like, "Hey man, what's going on? Like, what are the rules?" He goes, "You're an online breaker, right?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You can't break till 9 a.m. day of release."
Right.
I said, "That's what I thought." Okay. Screenshot it, sent it. They were like, "Oh yeah, that your rep is dumb, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, okay, but that's my rule. So I'm not going to break until 9 a.m. that day.
Yep.
Right? That's it. Plain and simple. And then they just started doing that. They just started doing, we'll rip all week. And then the platform started buying into it, saying like, "Hey, here's the bounty. If you score this bounty by this date, you'll get a free booster box." And then they fucked that up because the due date of the bounty was like 2 days before release date. So they were like, how can we offer this bounty to our customers if we're not breaking until release date, release night? You know what I mean? Like the contest is closed already by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Oh man, good old days.
Yeah, good man, I hate it.
But even distro was honestly the one that was playing games with this. Even now, like there's people that had Parlay of Fates, which is the holiday set of Pokemon that doesn't have a pre-release. So it comes out the Friday. They ship it Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, they start shipping it. So the earliest you could get it is Wednesday. Tuesday, apparently, if you go pick it up. Apparently. Right. But Wednesday would be when you have it. Why? Because they want you to hang up the posters. They want you to put it out the displays. They want you to put it in your system. So they give you a couple of days so you could be ready for that Friday in some cases, midnight release. Okay, when the thing was really like hot. Now, here's the thing, though. There was people with Paldean Fates weeks prior to the release date.
That sucks.
Even with 151, I can't believe I forgot about this. Remember when 151 came out? It was the Philly show. Remember?
Yep.
And we didn't get it till the day, the day after, whatever, right? And I remember I broke that night at the hotel. Remember?
Yep.
So only a couple of products had released. ETBs, the binder collection, and the little boxes, the bundles. Those were the 3 products that had released. A month after that was going to be the Mew UPC, the big shit, like the Ultra Premium collection, right? Tell me how people had the Mew Ultra Premium collection a week before the set came out, when that wasn't even supposed to come out till like a month later, dude. So now there were rumors that people were backdooring it from distro, and that was crazy, because even at Laz's show that I did the week after,
right,
somebody was selling it, and I asked, like, I was like, oh, how much are they? Oh, $190. I'm like, damn, that's what's up. Like, yeah. Like, how many do you have? She's like, oh, we got like a couple cases. I was like, really? And I was like, whoa. And then I finally said it. I was like, yeah, man, that's crazy. My rep sucks, man. My rep says I'm not getting it until October 14th. And they were like, oh. She's like, yeah, I don't know where these came from. Like, and then started backpedaling. But I was
no.
like, come on, man. That's insane. So then I have another guy who I know that has my same rep, the same distro, and he emailed him. No, he didn't email him. He posted it on Facebook, because the distro Southern made a post about something that was coming out. I can't figure out what it was. And this guy commented on it. He's like, hey, is there any possibility that we can get this, like next week, like everyone else's, like through the back door, or do I have to wait for my rep to reach out? Oh, man, it was great. Good stuff.
Hey, man, it's always going to happen. Like you said, it's always going to happen. I get it, but it is messed up, because part of the aura is that anticipation, that hype. You promote the hell out of it, and you wait for that day. But if people already have it and you start seeing it pop up on eBay and stuff like that, it's like, and you're taken away from it, and you're basically manipulating the prices at that point. Yeah, you have it early. Now you can price it however you want, because people are like, oh shit. I can get it early.
Yeah.
So,
and it sucks. That's the one thing I think that we're very blessed, and I think you are too, with our following, like in our customer base. Like, they are pretty loyal. Where they're like, we're not going to fall into the hype. We're not going to pay $7, $10 a pack, because we know we can get it for retail once Lewis gets it. You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of also like comes back to our responsibility to keep our prices retail once the product comes out. Obviously the market changes, you know what I mean? Like some packs you can't even give away. People don't want them. But but I think release date, it's important, because all these backpack people, the store doesn't care. The store is selling it at normal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they think they can double it, triple it, just by getting it early. So knowing that your customer base is already in the mindset of like, hey, we're not going to buy into this foolishness of paying premium for it. Celebration packs were going for $70 a pack on Whatnot.
Yo, that's ridiculous.
Before release. And someone sent me a screenshot, was like, can you believe this shit? And I was like, I cannot believe it. $70 a pack, and this guy just sold like 300 packs in one night. And it's like, okay, how do you compete with that, right? And two, like, your morals, like, that's when you draw the line between your morals and your ambition, I guess you would call it, right? Because it's like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to sell something for $70, but like, dude, like, you can't. Like, you have all these people waiting, like, that waited, not buying in the hype, waited for you to get it. You have to be at retail, at least,
Yeah, exactly.
Because even like that's once you have distro and you have wholesale, like that's the whole point. So you can offer stuff at retail and still have a little margin. I mean, those margins literally have disappeared with all the upcharges that have been coming out. But at the end of the day, that's what it was. That's the model that they were going after,
Right. Yeah, of course. It is what it is, man.
It's nuts.
It ain't Chit.
Oh, man.
So how was Collector's Marketplace?
Oh, man. It was great, actually.
Yeah, you did good?
Not so good for Modern. I told you I started finessing my personal collection a bit just for X amount of reasons. But yeah, man, and I found more vintage packs that I had, and they're flying. Like you would get some people that are trying to like make a deal, and like you said, like I was just firm on my pricing. I was just like, dude, that's what it goes for, man. I have no rush in getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, fine. Overall, the show was mixed emotions because I feel like in order to have a very successful show, it takes a village. Like, it's not just you go there and you expect it to be perfect. I feel like there is some responsibility in the seller to make sure your stuff is neat, make sure you're there on time, make sure that you're ready for business, make sure you're, you have your stuff ready to go, right? Also, I feel that the people doing the show that are responsible for coordination, let's say, right? Yep. Coordination. You need to communicate all details up front. I felt a little in the dark with this. I didn't know what time load-in was, where it was. You know what I mean? Like the situation. I feel like that could have been handled a little better. There was some misleading information on Instagram. There was different start times. And we would have never known if we didn't ask about it. Right. You know what I mean? But honestly, too, I don't know. I feel like maybe they, on their website, they had like a sign-up sheet and it's all there. And maybe I just missed it because we do so much business with the coordinator for these shows that we just text them on the side. Like, hey, let me get a table. All right, cool. Send the payment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're on that level of trust, I guess, with the showrunner. You know what I mean? So maybe for another person, they did go on the website and they did fill out the vendor form and they did get an email saying, here's load-in instructions. Thank you for, you know what I mean? Like maybe that did happen. So I don't want to say, I don't want to say like, how dare you like not do that, right? But I'm just saying what happened to me.
To be fair, it could have also been, since it was the first time doing it at that location, that different type of show. Maybe the information wasn't clear to them as well because they weren't really sure. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. There's
what I was going to say.
So many factors.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. So we get there. That place is huge. Well, luckily, we were able to have a couple, I texted Danny, like, where are you? Because I know he's there at fucking 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So, and then we were like, yeah, we're here, whatever, park here. Then we got in, and I thought for some reason, I don't know, man. For some reason, I thought there was going to be 1 million tables. For some reason, I thought there was going to be like a shit ton of tables. I thought there was going to be like, just like bigger, even bigger than the hotel show. That's what I thought, But I mean, there was a lot of tables. I'm just saying, I thought it was going to be a lot more. The traffic was insane. I think one thing that they didn't account for, I think, was there was a lot of space in between the vendors and not enough space in between the public, if you understand what I'm saying. So like if we were across each other, let's say, and someone's at your table seeing stuff and someone's at my table seeing stuff, there's no people getting through. And let's be honest, the people that are looking at our stuff are not, they're fluffy. You know what I mean? They're not the most, So they're taking up a lot of room. And the mall obviously has 1 million people with strollers. And when people had strollers, they were like, not going through here. And that automatically, so there was that. Besides that, I think it was great. It was fun. It's just a whole different thing because obviously the show is free admission, because it's a mall. And like we were talking about before, I think we were talking about a couple episodes ago, like it's a whole different clientele where it's not just, I mean, you had the people that were like trying to be like, hey, I have this for sale, you know, hey, can we do comps, blah, blah, blah. Can we do the trade up challenge? But you also had a lot of people that were like, oh my God, I used to have this when I was a kid. Damn. Oh, wow, you have that. How much is that? It's like $20. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get that, you know? Like, they had no idea. They had no idea, you know? You also had a lot of people that were not local, country-wise. You had a lot of traveling people. I had some Asian people that came by and asked about specific product and bought it. I had two guys from the UK, and this is funny, and I'll tell this story really quick. Two guys from the UK, they just stumble upon my table and they're like, wow, you have a lot of vintage packs. I was like, yeah. And they're like, these go for like a lot of money in the UK. And I'm like, oh, you're from the UK. I would have never known. Right. And he was like, yeah, I'm on Whatnot. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, he's like, I love Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. Everything there's so expensive. So I just sell singles. I'm like, cool, awesome. I have packs. Why don't you take some packs? And he's like, yeah, let's gamble. And he's like, let me see. So he bought a Shining Legends pack at $30. He bought it and I was giving it to him like this. I was selling them like, you know, with the card saver and the team bag, you know, because these packs, you're not going to open them. Like, and he fucking ripped it right away. He's like, fuck, I didn't get anything. And then he's like, what am I going to gamble next? How much is that? And dude, he bought like 4 or 5 $30+ packs. Even one of them was like $70. And he didn't get shit. He didn't get shit, Bruno. I'm telling you, the most expensive card he got was like maybe like a $4 rare. I don't like, he was down like $100. And I felt bad. Great. I felt bad. I was like, dude, I think I have like, you know, I gave him a blister pack. I was like, let's open a blister pack, you know, let's get you something. And again, we didn't get shit because obviously he's buying from me, right?
Yeah, but he was probably happy as fuck though.
He was, and then he goes, you know, that's great, thank you so much. And then I told him, I'm like, come back tomorrow, I'll give you a binder, because obviously Danny had all the binders, but he didn't come on Friday. And the next day he came back. He spent a little more money. He bought some like $10 packs, and he bought some singles. And then I gave him a binder. And he was so cool about it. You know what I mean? So like that would have never happened.
No way.
In like a card show. That would have never happened. Never in a million years. Because most 90% of the people that come to our card shows are resellers. They're trying to buy to sell it, or they're trying to buy to grade, or you know, or to flip, like it, or the people that aren't buying for that and they're buying to collect most of the time in Pokemon are buying singles because they're tired of the shit pull rates, right? But besides that, I mean, it was fun. The Saturday the wrestling thing was there, and that just became huge. Like we had so many people. Even the Sunday was good. Usually Sundays are slow. You know what I mean? Even Sunday, and it was like just jam packed. It was fun. It was fun. I'm torn between doing it again just because the date is weird. It's like right around Mother's Day. So I don't know if I could swing. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's the weekend that we're gonna do something for Mother's Day. So.
Oh wait, he's doing it again at the mall?
Yeah.
In May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough date. It's a tough date. I'm so bad, dude. I feel bad because they're just doing their job. They're trying to sell, right? So he comes up and he's like, hey, I don't think we met. So he introduced himself and stuff. He's like, listen, we're gonna do the next show in May. He gave me the flyer. He's like, unfortunately, the mall saw how much traction this brought, so they're gonna raise the price on us. So if you even give half a deposit now, we can grandfather you in with this price. So I said to him, let me ask you a question. What if we all give the deposit and we get grandfathered in? Are you okay with losing money then?
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, you just told me that they raised the price, but if we act now, we'll be grandfathered in. I said, what if we all act now? Every single vendor here gives you half a deposit, and you have to grandfather us in. Are you okay with losing money? And he goes, I never thought about it like that.
Scratch that. We're not grandfathering anybody in.
Oh man.
Oh,
And I
man,
said,
that's
honestly,
great.
man, I don't know if I could do this show. The date is kind of weird, but I will definitely let you guys know. And I have no problem with paying more if I have to.
That's funny.
Oh man, that poor guy. You know, he
I
fucking
mean,
cursed me
that's
out.
good that it was good for you, that it went well. I mean, we kind of, when we talked about it, we kind of anticipated the new market coming in, and that would be the plus, right? That's the plus side.
Yeah.
I mean, I went there on Saturday just to kind of look around. My expectation was to spend like $1,000, try to get some cards. Yeah, I went in there trying to spend like $1,000.
Should have bought some Pokemon, man.
Oh, sports. So I went in there for sports, and I wanted to find some nice stuff, a few cards or whatever. My experience was kind of what you went through, but probably worse because I went at a different time of the day. But like the parking situation was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's very complicated. And then once you find parking, like once I went into the mall, you're lost again.
No idea where you're at. Yeah.
You have no idea where things are. There's no direction. So, you have to try to kind of figure it out. And it's so big, and the amount of people is just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, that was like bad for me because I don't like that kind of environment. So it just started off brutal.
Yeah.
And then when I finally found you guys, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool space. You got the card show, and you mentioned the wrestling. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Got wrestling here. It's awesome. And then as I got was when Jason Page was performing the song. So it was like it was like crazy. Everything was happening right there. But
someone was trying to do a trade up challenge with his signature card.
What the fuck?
Someone came to my table and was like, are you doing the trade up challenge? And I was like, absolutely not. And he was like, are you sure? I have a Jason Page card signed. He's the voice of a generation. If you didn't know, he's the guy that sings the Pokemon theme. So this is worth a lot of money.
Approximately how old was this individual?
He was definitely in his nerdy teens.
Oh my God.
Right?
Okay.
And I said, buddy, this is not a licensed product, first of all. And second of all, you paid $25 for this. Good luck trading for something.
Yeah.
Said, this is, dude, like, come on. Like, And he goes, wait, well, but he's famous. I said, of course he is. Fine. But that's an unlicensed product. Like, who's going to buy that? Seriously.
Yeah, unless you're actually, you have a Jason Page fan standing in front of you. It's very unlikely that anybody's going to even care to do business with you at that point.
Exactly. Like, I mean, listen, if Topps now comes out with a Jason Page card and he gets to sign those, okay. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a little value. But come on, this guy, I mean, good for him, man. He's riding the wave. Good for him. Kudos to him. But, dude,
fuck the trade-up challenges.
Fuck the trade-up challenge. Fuck Jason Page lip singing.
That's funny that you still had that there, though, the trade-up challenges. But yeah, I mean, I saw the concert. I saw a little bit of wrestling. So then I started to kind of walk around to look at the sports cards, see, if there was anything interesting.
Uh-huh.
So I'm walking around, and I'm like, man, this is kind of a drag for me because it was mostly TCG and comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, where the hell are sports cards? There were a couple of guys with sports cards, but nothing crazy. I know Roth Cards was there too. He probably hated his life.
Yeah, you could tell he looked so. He was like,
kudos to him. I mean, he tried.
Yeah.
And
who knows? So maybe the trade night went well because he was doing the trade night.
True. Maybe.
Yeah, but there was not a lot of sports. I think there was one guy in the back that had like a lot of wax, and then there was another guy that had like a couple singles and stuff. There's that guy that always goes. Hennessy Cards was on the other side.
Yep,
He has a bunch of stuff. And DJs, that's pretty much it. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, there was
man. I mean, I walked
selling...
around, and yeah, I was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah,
that's okay. I mean, it wasn't for me, and that's okay. But the thing I did notice was the space issue. I mean, it was super tight in the aisles, so
you couldn't.
I mean, again, brutality. That is brutality for me.
Yeah,
those tight spaces for me, no good. It's like walking through an anal cavity.
Oh,
you got Chit everywhere.
There was this one vendor though. He was selling vintage football. Did you see that?
I believe I did.
Vintage football cards,
like by the stage, by the wrestling area, like that open space. I think.
No. He was by us. It was this big box of bulk, and it was $1 a card, and it was old, vintage football card. It was
DJs. I was just gonna say it's probably DJs.
Oh, it was my dad. You remember?
Oh, that's right. So he started comping those. He's probably writing it down too, like 30 cents, 28 cents. Oh shit! I found a $4 card. Remember that? Like, oh shit! There's a $4 card in here.
Oh man! Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. That was so good. But yeah, no, I thought, like I said, I thought there was gonna be double that. Also, too, who knows? Also, maybe like they didn't have a lot of vendors. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been.
It was a pricey show. It wasn't like your average show for vendors. You know what I mean? So, and honestly, too, a lot of people are saving up for Comic-Con because Comic-Con is coming to Jersey. I hear those tickets for the vendors, like the last one the one that's happening in Florida now. The tickets for the vendors went on sale, and in half hour, the whole room was booked.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was checking out the prices for Comic-Con last year in New York. It wasn't too bad considering the event. You know what I mean?
Not Comic-Con, Collecticon.
Oh, you're talking about Collecticon.
I'm talking about Collecticon.
Oh, okay. Those look like pretty cool shows.
I heard from people that have been there as vendors and as spectators, it's amazing.
Not for me, but yeah, for you, I'm sure it's cool. I mean, I've seen plenty of videos and reviews and stuff.
Yeah,
it looks like a good time. So, I mean, I'd be down to doing one of those. I wouldn't bring sports cards, but I'd be down to just
you
be
have
in that space.
Pokemon. You have a lot of Pokemon stuff.
I definitely go to bring that stuff. The problem is, like, the Jersey one is the week before the National. It's that weekend before, and it's like, man, can't do it. For me, July is only National. I will not do anything else. Unfortunately, I can't do it. It's too much.
Yeah.
In preparation for the Nationals, too much. So, I don't know. I mean, this year's kind of weird because, we're probably not going to be vending there at the National, just going as a guest.
Is that in stone?
No, I mean, we could still talk to people if we really want to get some space at a table. I'm sure we could get space.
Yeah.
But
I want to go to the National. I can't miss it. It's like our thing.
I'm definitely going. I've already, my PTO's in, like it's been in for a year. I'm PTO going.
Is in as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going no matter what.
Okay.
So the only thing, the weird thing with this, what was that?
I don't want to go by myself.
You're not, I mean, I'm going, so.
Okay.
And I think Serge is going, or now he's in doubt, right? I think he mentioned he's like, doesn't know.
I can't keep up with his.
Kevin supposedly said he's going. I don't know. I highly doubt it at this point.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely going. I don't care. I'm going.
What about DJs? Is DJs going?
He said no.
He said no, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's only interested in going to Venn. So for him, it's like, what's he really going to do there? I mean, I can't go for the whole week anyway. I have to, because that's my son's birthday week. So this is the year that it landed on his birthday. I think it's that Wednesday or Thursday.
Wasn't it his birthday 1 year too?
It was like, I think the weekend prior.
Yeah. The first time we went to Chicago.
Something like that. It was like the weekend prior, and then I brought him with us. You brought him,
remember? Because you had gone to the baseball game because you were like, yeah, that's for his birthday.
Yep. So that's why I can't go like that first day. I'll have to go like Thursday night.
Why?
Yeah, because it's his birthday. I can't miss that. I don't care what's happening in the world. His birthday is going to come first.
Bring him.
I could, but even then,
Oh
I'm
wait,
still not.
you're flying solo this year.
Most likely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why you're going to Thursday because his birthday is the Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going early, you can have at it. But if you want to go together, then yeah, I have to go a day or so later.
Yeah, because the show is what? The show is
It's
isn't it
Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
because
It's
the
4 days.
Wednesday is the setup, but breakers start that Wednesday night.
Wednesday night is break night,
Right.
like the preview night.
Up to midnight, breakers can stay there and break. But everybody else, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So what if you guys vend? You still won't go till Thursday.
I still won't go.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
But even if we get like a table, like I'm not bringing product. I can't. It's too much to carry. So it's basically going to be. I might bring like a suitcase of like the My Zions, and then maybe just the slab case, stuff like that. That's really it. Like I'm not going to go crazy. Have some space there to kind of give out, the stickers and promote the podcast, but nothing crazy.
Right. Well, anyways, like even if we would be in the Breakers Pavilion, we're not allowed to sell. So there's no point, right?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not doing the Breakers Pavilion.
Yeah.
Not this year. Unfortunately, like we're not breaking like we were, and it's just way too much for the booth.
Yeah.
Without the movement, the action. So
yeah.
It's not worth it. Especially if we can't sell our stuff there.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a shame I didn't want to do that, but
Well, no, I think
we can't.
I think that's the right decision. Because I mean, it stunk last year, and now I feel like they're gonna crack down even more. Because I think that like last year was kind of like they were playing catch up, but now it's gonna be like, no, we need everyone to respect this. You know what I mean? I think
so.
More.
They're definitely going to enforce it more, only because Whatnot got bigger. Plus, now you have Fanatics Live, which wasn't there last year.
Right.
So now you're going to introduce them also. So you're going to have all these vendors, doing that. It's going to be even bigger. Yeah, that's probably out of the question. It is what it is, but
if you get a table, a full table, would the plans change? Like not your travel plans, obviously, but like the company based on what product you're bringing, and are you actually going to vend?
Not really. It's like I said, my plan is basically a suitcase filled with probably my Zions to promote that. The mystery boxes, I'll probably have like higher end stuff.
Right. And your
probably
slabs.
And then slabs.
Yeah.
That's really it. Yeah. And the thing that I'm starting to get away from is the slabs. So what I'm trying to work on in order to promote the business also is to do the Mac Pro thing. I just think the cards look nice. They look really nice. Yeah. You're able to promote the business. So, at a stage like that at the National where you're able to give somebody, one of these cards that has your brand on it and it starts traveling around. Maybe they'll post it on Instagram, shit like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. It's like, I want to start getting away from the slabs, introduce more of the regular cards, but obviously I'm not going to put a $5 card in a Mag Pro. You want to do like, at least $20, but like you want to go there. The 50 and up is what you want to focus on because, decent cards, nice looking cards, and a nice looking Mag Pro on it would be ideal.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. It's the Mag Pros, some slabs, and my Zions. That's really it. That's if I can get a table. If I can't, I'll just bring a slab case, or maybe I'll buy the backpack or whatever and walk around, see if I could sell some stuff or trade some stuff and try to enjoy the show because I haven't been able to enjoy the show.
Well, that's my thing too. I want to for me, it's bittersweet because I started to finagle with my collection. So like, I don't know what I'm concentrating on now to collecting, honestly. If you asked me a couple months ago, I would have told you that I'm putting money away to start buying a little higher end booster boxes to add to my collection. But like 10 of my booster boxes are gone already. You know what I mean? So like the Sun and Moon set is incomplete now. So there's no point to try and recoup that. to have it again. I don't think, like, honestly, I thought if it moved me more, like, to let go of it, then I would have thought twice. But obviously, the responsible thing to do at the time was to let go of it, just to get out of trouble. So it was like, if I let go of it that easy, I was like, then yeah, then I could definitely make money here and maybe collect something else later on. So my thing now is like, okay, what am I going there to buy? Like, I don't know, maybe like a cool card, or maybe like a cool, like, I want to complete like my shadowless set. So there's that. But as opposed to, like, before, I wanted to go in there guns blazing and buy, because like you said, we've never had the chance to actually like go for the show as just like to just buy and have fun and just like chill. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, listen, obviously it's been great every year we've gone, obviously thanks for including me and all that, and having me there and whatever. It's always fun, obviously, the shenanigans and the fooling around at the table and all the people and the weird people and shit. But yeah, like, we're there all day at the table. It'll be nice to go around and see, because there is like 800 tables that have different stuff there,
Yeah.
You never know where you're going to find. So
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens, but I'm definitely going regardless. So
yeah,
fear not, you wouldn't be alone, because I
okay,
am definitely going. I don't care.
good,
So,
nice. Yeah, I do want to send more stuff to grade that I think, because I have a lot of cool old stuff that I think people would pay premium because the pops were probably low. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you can get low pops for sure, then you control it better.
Yeah,
Even if the last one sold for $20, I mean, if there's only 3 out there in the world, you can say, I want 40 for this.
yeah,
What do you get? Okay, you don't want it for 40? No problem. Go find it then.
exactly.
So,
Yep. And yeah, I mean, and it's also fun to get all see people that meet people that you only know online, like, you know what I mean? That was
yeah,
always
that was the cool thing about it too.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
always the cool thing.
Because there's people that we talk to online, like, especially me and you that stream. There's people that we talk to all the time. Like there was times where I was talking to Corey and Kev. Like, I've never met them, and I've talked to them more than more than my brother or my cousin that live here. You know what I mean? So, like, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to see people, and obviously, like, like, people know us. Like, people recognize, obviously, the shirt. Like, people know the logo.
Yeah.
It's always fun. It's always fun to see people there, and especially year after year too. Like, when you see the same people every year, like, that's literally the only time you're going to see them. So
Yeah, that's the thing that's going to suck, not having the table there.
yeah,
Or at least the booth, and because we've been doing it for the past few years. And yeah, like you said, I mean, there's people that show up, they're like, oh, yeah, I break with you. This is such and such. It's like, oh shit, yeah, this is awesome. Great to finally put a face to the name on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a good time regardless, whether we're at a table or walking around. I love it, man. I love the whole thing just because I love the hobby so much.
really,
I don't care,
you were
man.
going to close it yesterday.
Huh?
I said, because you were going to call it quits yesterday.
Dude, I had people sending. It's like, don't you know what day it is? Like yesterday,
But people bought it, man. People on your page bought it.
dude, they were messaging me and everything. Like, oh man, tell me this isn't real. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Did you see
Man.
mine? Did you see? I literally copied yours.
Yeah, and then Kevin messed it up.
And then Kevin was like, saw it on Breakers. Oh man, no, that was
good
fun.
stuff.
That was good. That was good stuff. That was good stuff.
It's April Fool's, man.
Did you get any April Fool shenanigans either at work or at?
No, I mean, I don't really do that, and the people at work, nothing really happens like that, so it's whatever. It was all on Facebook. I mean, everybody was doing it, and like that's why I'm like, seriously, like, you're gonna believe this? I mean, everybody, if you go down and just start scrolling, everybody's posting something like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
it's just so obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Jess sent me a picture of a pregnancy test, and that said nothing. And then I was like, "Fuck you." But that joke was on me because she was like, I was like, "Where the hell did you get this picture?" And she's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "This is when I was pregnant with Rosie. This is the picture I sent you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." No,
how you gonna remember that though?
dude,
Oh man,
come on, man. You know better than to ask questions like that. We have to remember everything.
no,
Throughout
we
the trash.
can't.
Right?
We don't remember Chet.
Can't forget that.
At least I don't remember Chet.
You should see the alarms I have on my phone and the
Oh my
calendar
god.
that's on my phone. I don't remember shit either.
Yeah, but even with reminders, like I'll never be able to remember.
Oh
It
man.
just doesn't work. And I say it all the time. For example, if my wife says, "Hey, remind me for this," I'm like, "I'm not going to remember. I already forgot." Like you're asking the wrong guy.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh man.
I mean, the big thing right now out there is the Shohei Ohtani debacle.
So I wanted to do a little more research on it before I do my
Okay, so we don't have to go into it.
but let me hear what you know, because all I know, honestly, all I know is that they're saying that he was gambling and they're comparing him to Pete Rose and obviously all the memes. And then I heard his interview where he said that the other guy, his translator, was stealing money from him. And
Yeah.
and I honestly, this is like, it's funny. This is top priority to look up, because obviously I'm a big Shohei fan. The Shohei is a big icon in this household, but I just haven't had time to look further into it just because I haven't had time.
So I've tried to also do some research because obviously everybody already knows that I am not a baseball guy. I hate baseball.
You love baseball.
But I did try to read up on it. I looked at a few different articles, try to get some information, and it is very like back and forth on the situation. So basically his agent or translator, his best friend, I mean, he was all the above. He I don't even know how to pronounce it. Ipe Mizuhara or something like that. He supposedly, allegedly, he was gambling and he accumulated $4.5 million in debt with a bookie in California, which is illegal. So he owed a bookie $4.5 million. Shohei didn't know about it, allegedly, had no idea about what was going on. It was just his translator that was doing it. He'd never bet on sports. According to Shohei, never bet on any sports, nothing like that. Was never aware. But then there was a point in time where he actually mentioned something where he basically paid, or somehow the money left his account, $4.5 million left his bank account, and he ended up paying the bookie because he wanted to help his friend get out of debt, supposedly. Okay. Then he was saying he had no idea. So did he have an idea? Did he not have an idea? It started going back and forth. Like you didn't really know. Because like it was kind of like, okay, well, you're saying this, but then you said that. Like it's not really making sense. So it's very possible that he was not gambling. But I don't believe that Shohei didn't know that his translator was not a gambler. I believe he did know that he was into gambling and was doing it. I just don't think he knew that it went that deep.
That's what she said.
Yep. And so when they started finding, when he had paid the bookie at this point to help out a friend to be the nice guy, well, even you still paid a bookie at that point in California, which is still illegal.
Yeah.
Whether you're being a nice guy or not, you're still, that act, that transaction is illegal. But then it changed into, well, then the translator, not the translator, Shohei was saying, well, the translator basically stole my money. He stole the $4.5 million. He had access to it, and he was the one that did it. First, he wanted to help his friend, but now it's like, no, I didn't know about it. He stole the money from me. So then he fired him.
He changed the story.
there's a timeline where like things aren't really adding up, and it is like that back and forth. That's why it's like a weird story. I'm sure there's a good article that has everything like laid out.
My first order of action was going to be to go on John Boy Media. I don't know if you're familiar with John Boy Media.
No.
I love John Boy Media on YouTube. If you've never seen any of his videos, I recommend you to watch any of his videos. John Boy Media is really good. He does a lot of funny stuff, like but he does a lot of like when there was like the bench clearing and stuff, he can read them out and he does the voices and stuff or whatever. But then he also explains what's going on, or like crazy like finishes to games and stuff like that. So I was waiting. I haven't even checked. I might do it before I go to bed now, actually. See if he's made a video on the Shohei scandal, because what you're saying, like, I had a whole different thing. I knew some of it, but like I said, like what I saw, it made it almost seem like he was betting on games and he was throwing games on purpose.
So there is a little bit to that as well, where they started like there's a couple of games in particular that they were like, oh, at this time this happened, and like they started like putting some of those things together, like these conspiracies. So it's also possible, I don't know, but he's basically using the excuse that he had no idea that his best friend, who was with him at all times, he had no idea that he was gambling or betting on any sport.
Which is I think 100% that's a lie, because like if you're doing that and you're that close, where they obviously, like, even when they're on the road, they're together, like they're like bunking, right? So you're not gonna see him like on the phone. You're not gonna like, you're gonna talk about it. Like, I got so much money on this game. Like, you know what I mean?
100%.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Unless at some point, and maybe it got to a point where it was too much and he stopped talking about it because he realized he was in trouble. Like, I could get that. There, you could take this in so many ways, right? The problem is we don't, he doesn't speak English, and he's so like private also that like it makes it difficult. But you could take it in so many directions. It's very possible that it could have been they did know about it at first, but then things got bad and he stopped talking about it, and then Shohei, it got to this point where now he's like, oh crap, now what do I do, right? But that's where it's at right now. It's the bookie got paid. Now the bookie's under federal investigation. The money came out of Shohei's account. Shohei claims that it was stolen by his translator. They fired the translator. Now they're investigating all that. Now,
why wouldn't he go after the translator for the money?
I don't know.
Stolen, right? You know what I mean? If it was stolen.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, was it? I mean, if it was that clear, wouldn't he have been arrested by now? So that's why it's like, I don't know, man. Like, things are a little sketchy. But now it raises the question, like, that's why they're bringing up Pete Rose, because obviously the most famous, betting scandal in sports is the Pete Rose thing.
Second famous.
Second famous? What was the first?
It was the Black Sox scandal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the White Sox.
That's right. That's right. All right, yeah. I mean, but the Pete Rose thing is big because of the fact that it seems like Major League Baseball has like this grudge or this anti-gambling.
Grudge is the perfect word.
I mean, it's just anti-gambling, but like they'll do anything they can to make sure that he doesn't get in because of the gambling. Even though today in 2024, it's part of our culture, essentially.
But here's the thing.
But he did it differently.
Right. He also coached and played at the same time.
Exactly.
But here's the thing with Charlie Hustle that I have to say. So you're telling me, right, gambling, whatever, they look down upon it, whatever. He threw games on purpose, meaning he sucked on purpose, or he exceeded and won on purpose, okay? Which is admirable, maybe not, but is it insane? Yes, because if you tell me that you are going to specifically hit 6 home runs in this game and you fucking hit 6 home runs in this game to make money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy because the odds alone are crazy, right? But now you're doing it on purpose? Like, okay, here's my thing. Hall of Fame, based on merit, based on, not even Hall of Fame, records, because they stripped him from all his records.
That's true, yeah.
So you're telling me like I don't think there's a way to fudge your merit for a record. Like if he has the all-time hit record, I don't think you can take that away from him because he actually did have those hits.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Take it away from him if all those hits are not proven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's some cheat with the paperwork or the way the games were documented, or whether the umpires were bought to be called a hit or an error or whatever, right? Then okay, I understand. But the dude did hit 1253 or 1352, whatever it is, right? He did hit them. Like he did. The record is his,
Yeah.
I think, because he actually got up to plate. And it's not like, what are you're telling me that maybe the other pitcher was into it too? Then you're telling me that all the pitchers in his era were into it, saying like, okay, we're going to let Pete hit. We're going to let Pete walk. We're going to, you know what I mean? Like, where is the line drawn? Like how it's impossible to know, I think.
Yeah, I get that what he did was wrong. It's 100% wrong. I mean, betting on your own games, 100% wrong. So, right now in 2024, as it stands, most major sports, probably all of them
All
at
of them,
this point,
every single one.
You're not allowed to even bet in the same sport. Okay, I like that. That makes sense. I'm all for that. Okay, so
But
if
you're
you're a
not allowed to
player,
bet in the. What do you mean? Oh, if you play baseball, you're not allowed to bet on baseball.
right? Or maybe it's just the NFL, but I'm pretty sure that
It's got to be all of them.
I'm pretty sure if you're an athlete in that particular league, you're not allowed to bet on games in that same league. In other words, NBA, NFL, whatever, which makes sense to me. And I get that. And with the Shohei thing, apparently it wasn't on baseball. Okay, fine. Still, you're still in California. It's still illegal in California. So no
Which is
matter how you
nuts
look
that
at
it's
it.
illegal in California.
Yeah, exactly. So
Nuts.
like, it doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah.
But the Pete Rose thing, yes, he shouldn't have done that. I get it, but like you can't take away, like you said, the stuff that he did that people have not been able to even come close to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't take that away. So I get you want to punish him, but
Even
you
with the
can't take
steroids
that
era.
away. You can't take it away.
You
You
can't.
can't take it away. And just on that alone, like the guy is a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. Like put him in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer.
But also
Yes,
here,
he did some bad stuff, but
yeah.
he's still a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're telling me that all the people that you guys inducted haven't done any shady shit or bulked up or did any of that shit and they're in the Hall of Fame? You're just holding a grudge against the Pete Rose of all people. Come on.
And here's a funny thing, man. Here's a funny thing that like they just laugh in his face because they let him on MLB on Fox, and they let him on MLB Network, and they let him on ESPN. You know what I mean? Like and they let him comment be a commentary and do all this stuff, and it's like, dude, like obviously he's doing it like he wants to work. Like you can still tell that he loves the sport.
Oh, loves it.
But I think it's kind of humiliating where it's like, okay, yeah, well, like, yeah, where you'll never be a baseball player, Hall of Famer in our eyes, but why don't you come for the game and tell us what do you think of the pitching matchup tonight? You know what I mean?
What does he know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know, man. I don't know.
He did post, or somebody posted a video on Instagram, and they had asked him about the Shohei thing, and he he made a comment like, "Damn, I wish I had a translator back then, because I would have just said I didn't speak any English. I would have gotten away with
Oh,
it."
fuck. That's good. I didn't see that. That's good. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy stuff. But what do you think about the value on Shohei? I mean, it's gone down a little bit, but not much. How do you feel about that? You think it'll go down? You
I think it will only go up, man, because we are a country that loves the anomalies, the miscuts, the misprints, especially in the hobby. I think that once he either becomes kicked out of baseball and all his shit goes up, right? Or he gets a slap on the hand and go on your merry way, and he hits 1,000,000 home runs with the Dodgers and wins a World Series. Those are the two. You know what I mean?
This is the problem that Major League Baseball is facing right now. You've got, a player.
Has he played yet,
I
or is
mean,
he
I
suspended?
don't know.
I don't
I don't
even
know
know.
actually, but 10 years, $700 million. This is the best player in baseball that is not involved in some sort of gambling thing. What are you gonna do, Major League Baseball?
Your poster
That's why they're
child.
stalling, because what are they gonna do? They're gonna suspend him? Okay. Then what? I
Then
mean,
what?
you're
Yeah,
so anti-gambling.
yeah, yeah. Come on, Joe
Really?
Torre. What are you gonna do, baby?
What are you gonna do? And that's basically the question. Like, what are you gonna do right now?
Well, they just probably, as soon as Mike Trout hit that home run the other day, they were like, "Whew, all right, baby, let's go."
That's
Oh
funny.
man, yeah, man. I think it's gonna go both either one of those routes, man. Either he's gonna get suspended and everything is gonna skyrocket, or he's gonna kick ass. He's just gonna look the other way and just let him go on his merry way.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. This is the best player in baseball, and it's a once in a lifetime player. That's the thing.
Well, that's the
So
thing. That's the thing. It's
yeah,
going to be another 100 years until we get
exactly,
a player like this.
exactly. I mean, the worst case scenario, like you said, they get rid of him. Okay, but like you just got rid of your best player. Where's he going? Japan? He's still gonna make a shit ton of money, and they'll take him back in a heartbeat. I mean,
Yeah,
that's Shohei Ohtani. He's a superstar, once in a lifetime athlete.
and he's in his
So
prime.
yeah, and like his stuff started to dip a little bit, but I really think it's probably a good time to buy, because I don't think he's going anywhere. And when he does start playing, start kicking ass, I think it's just going to go up. Like you said, I think it's just going to go up from here. So if you have the capital to buy some, especially some decent stuff, I think now is a good time when
Yeah,
all this is happening, because there's hesitation. And if you can buy from those people that are hesitant,
yeah,
that's perfect.
yeah.
That's what you
Yep.
need. But yeah, I don't think his value decreases. I think people are gonna, because I don't think anybody's mad at the situation. Like I said, gambling today is part of the
Part of the
culture.
culture.
It's sports and gambling. I mean, it's one. It's just part of the game. So nobody's going to be upset with him. The only people that are upset, Major League Baseball,
Like
like
baseball.
these like weirdos. That's
Because
really it.
again, like they honestly they can't prove it. It just to me, it's listen. The Black Sox scandal was different because it was the whole team, and it was like, listen, let's suck today.
Yeah,
We can get paid.
yeah,
Like that's different. You have the ability, I think, and I may be wrong. I may be wrong at this. I may be 1,000% wrong, but I don't know if you agree with me or not. But I think you have the power to fail on purpose. I don't think you have the power to succeed on purpose, because in order to succeed, you have to try, right? In order to
right.
fail, you don't have to try. So if we're in a competitive game and you're telling me that I'm going to score 6 runs to win, you're telling me that that's easy to do on any day. It's easy to not. It's easy
Yeah,
to strike out every time I'm up to bat. I'll strike out every time I'm up to bat. Pay me $100 for strikeout. I'll strike out all the time,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
But okay, am I gonna? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gonna win on purpose. Like, there's no winning on purpose. Like,
Yeah,
like that's why the Pete Rose thing was so crazy, because if you really look at the stuff, he was betting on both sides.
yeah,
He was betting on the third inning we're going to be down by 2.
yeah.
On the sixth inning we're going to be up by 3, and we're going to extra innings. And he hit the tying home run, that puts him in like, dude, like.
Yeah.
And then he fucking goes and coaches third base.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Oh man.
Oh man. Oh fuck. like you said, I think it's just MLB. I think is just so nuts right now. Like
they're detached, man. They're detached.
yeah, but even all the updates they're doing in baseball, like just every year there's 30 different new rules, and it's just
They're not the only ones. The NFL's doing the same thing.
yeah.
The NFL just introduced a. So last year there was a lot of these hip tackles, like where a player basically grabs the other player from behind, like at the hip, and just like drops down,
Mm-hmm.
and that causes like injuries to the legs because it could like buckle, and it could be a big problem. So now they banned it. This year it's banned. You're not allowed to grab the player at the hips and bring him down. What direction are we headed in right now with football? I mean, it's an aggressive sport, and you're basically taking everything away that like is part of the tackle football. Like, what else are we gonna do?
They're gonna start introducing flag football
I mean,
in
that's where
five
it's headed. It's
five.
really really bad. So I don't know. It's
Right,
not just
we can watch the lingerie football.
yeah, that's a good one. But the point is, it's not just Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
They're changing rules everywhere, and it's basically to benefit. Like I don't know if it's a benefit, but it to me, it's like killing the competitive nature of the sport in each sport.
yeah. Well,
Like
they're trying to. I read this article that all this stuff is coming from the idea that they want to keep the players as healthy as possible,
right,
right? But dude, like, look at Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is 10 feet tall. Okay, he is a fucking Greek god. Okay, he's hurt every weekend. He gets hurt, and it's because these trainers have him at the gym every night. Every night he's working out.
you want to get
Every
into
night
that.
he's, you know what I mean? So it's like, of course they're gonna get hurt.
All right, you want to get into like sports injuries like that? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think what you're alluding to is that the rules aren't protecting the players. It's the players that are hurting themselves,
Yeah,
essentially. And it's not because of the game, it's the stuff that happens outside of the game.
yeah.
So, yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think that today's athlete, yes, physically and the way they look today versus
The
20
'80s,
years ago, 30
say the
years
'80s.
ago,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, they look great. All the athletes of today look really, really good. They're uh they're thinner, they're healthier, supposedly healthier.
they're more
They
meaty.
can move better,
Mm-hmm.
they're more agile, stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's true. But the problem is, I think that these regimens and these diets and these supplements that they're on, I think that's not really helping basically the how do I put this? Just
The nature of the
the
body.
exactly like the
Yeah,
masculinity or just the way the body's supposed to be built for
yeah.
a guy like that. For an athletic guy. I think that if you go back and you really look into like injuries in sports from let's say 30, 50 years ago, it'll be less, and the guys were not healthy, a lot of them. A lot of them would eat junk and would eat burgers and would eat pasta.
They would
And
smoke in the dugouts.
exactly, they
They
would
would
be
smoke and
smoking.
drink
They'd
in
be
the
doing
dugouts.
all this shit.
Beer
And if you look
bellies.
at their bodies, basically they look like dad bods, a lot of them. And it's because that's how men are basically designed. Like if you're a sturdy guy, that's what it is. It's like it's not what you intake, but it's the output. So it's the fact that like you're taking all this crap in, yeah, it's not great, but you're also doing these like aggressive and brutal sports
Yeah.
and maybe working in the backyard or doing shit like that, which a lot of them are not doing anymore, sewing and fucking digging and shit like that. That stuff built men, and it prevented a lot of these guys from getting hurt just because of the mass and the structure of the body. And I think that's missing today, which is why you have a lot of ACLs, MCLs. I mean, I've never seen so many of these types of injuries. It's like crazy.
Well,
and some of these athletes are fucking dropping dead in the middle of the game. What the hell's going on?
Look at and going back to baseball for a bit for pitchers. It is rare for a pitcher to do a complete game nowadays. And at some point they just stopped pitching full games. I mean, Nolan Ryan threw like 200 pitches a game, like complete games, shutouts. Like, look at the Mets' first ever no hit. Okay, their first ever no hitter was what's his face, Johan Santana, right? And he it was a career ending game. They left him out there, and the week after that he was hurt. He had to get Tommy John, and then he retired. Now you're telling me all these pitchers, it's gotten to a point where they're throwing so many clinics, so much training, so much stuff that they're wearing them out. And then they're so scared to shelter them. They're only pitch limit count, inning limit count.
Yep.
But then the next day you're having them throw 6 batting practices to get the slider to cut just right. When, who knows, like, maybe if you don't go that hard, like, maybe they will pitch more than 6 innings.
Yeah.
And you know, I wish Kevin was here, because obviously Kevin's more, he just follows it more. He's more technical about all this stuff. So it would be good to hear his side. But I think he's the same way, because the conversations we've had, like, we always joke around about Keith Hernandez was the first baseman for the Mets, and when there was this famous line that he was like, he had an oblique, it's called oblique. Oblique. He hurt his oblique. What the hell is an oblique? Like, what is that? He's like, I would have never known what that was back in the day.
Yeah.
How do you hurt your oblique? Oh man, and he brings it up too. He's like, this is crazy. Like, he's like, back in the day, we used to slide and we used to smoke cigarettes and drink beer and do whatever else they wanted to do, and they would still play the game and win.
Yeah, exactly. The toughness back then was crazy. Nobody's denying that a lot of athletes or sports players, particularly baseball, basketball, football, nobody's denying that they were unhealthy, and we know that, right? We get it. We've seen it, but they didn't get hurt as much. And even when they did get hurt, I mean, they played through it, man. They were tough. Yeah. They played through it. They got through the game, and then they take care of it afterwards. But like, it's just crazy. Like, you're bringing up, you know, the pitchers playing a full game. Dude, basketball is the same thing. They're limiting their play. I mean, they're pulling them out of games. Like, there's no way in the 90s that they would pull Michael Jordan out of the game. There's no way Patrick Ewing would be pulled out of the game because he's tired or because his ankle hurts. Dude, are you kidding me? Pull out of the game?
Well,
they're expected to play all 4 quarters.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the 30 for 30 film 4 Days in October?
No, I don't think I have.
So 4 Days in October was the story of when the Boston Red Sox were 1 game away from elimination in the LCS against the Yankees, and they come back and they win. They eliminate the Yankees, and then they go and win the World Series against the Cardinals, I think it was. And that broke the curse, the Bambino curse, that they haven't won a World Series since they traded Babe Ruth to the Yankees. There's a game in particular in there that I forget who the pitcher is, but they were saving Roger Clemens. Now, Roger Clemens was a young, on fire Roger Clemens in his prime before he went to the Yankees. And became like what we know him for, but he was an amazing pitcher for the Red Sox. He was like their ace, right? And they were saving him for another game, and they wanted to put him on because there was this other pitcher, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was pitching with his Achilles cut. He had a cut in his ankle, and you see inning after inning that his blood is just soaking through the fucking sock, dude. And he's pitching a hell of a game, and there's no shot that they're taking him out of this game. And he just played through that injury. I mean, like, this. I'm not a Red Sox fan. I'm not a Yankees fan. But if you're a baseball fan, like, this is what you root for. You know what I mean? Like, so the film is called 4 Days in October, and I think now they have all the 30 for 30 films on Disney Plus. So if you get a chance, watch it. It's really good. I mean, it'll starts off a little slow. It tells you like the history of like the Red Sox, like why the curse happens, but it gets right into the action with the games and how they were literally a couple outs away from losing it all after having a great season. And like, it's just fun. Like, and it goes back to like, that would never happen now. Like, as soon as they see that, like, he walked wrong, they would have been like, no, dude, you're not playing. Like,
you know, that stuff's wild to me. Like,
that would have never happened. They would have never won that game. And you know what I mean? Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, man, the athletes look good, they're healthy, but they're so weak. You still have very few that have grit, and you know who they are, and they mask as best as they could, certain things, and those are the guys you appreciate because you just don't see that anymore. Like, it was not. The basketball thing, for example, it ruins the game. And then people wonder why like attendance is down or people aren't really going as much. Like, for example, with basketball, LeBron James, not so much today, but he's still LeBron James. Let's say 5 years ago, right? LeBron James, biggest player in the sport, right? It doesn't matter where he plays, right? Everybody will go to the game because, I mean, it's LeBron James, right? The problem is, like, it's happened before where he doesn't play a game because he's resting. And it's like these people spend all this money on these tickets because, LeBron James is coming to town. They go to the game and he's not there. Like, that's a shame. Like, it should never be like that. That's crazy to me.
Same thing with Messi.
It happened with him too?
It happened with him where recently there was a FIFA couple of it was backward. Messi was doing a tour. Miami FC Miami was doing a tour, like a pre-season shit, and people were reselling tickets because they thought Messi was going to come, let's say, to Red Bulls Arena, right?
Right.
And FIFA had a couple games, and the Argentinian team called him up, and he went, and people were pissed because people were paying like thousands of dollars and traveling, and Messi did not play the games, right? I think he played like one or two, but then this time around there was FIFA friendlies. People thought Messi was going to play, and they paid top dollar, and FC Miami did not let him partake in the friendlies, which is amazing because they lost almost every game that was there. Like, so it was pretty funny that it happened the other way. Like,
that's crazy.
Some people that are just not gonna win. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but that's messed up.
Really messed up.
I mean, that's the point. Like, you're. I get it if you're legitimately hurt or whatever and you can't physically be out there. I get it. But like, to work through a sprain or because you're tired, the problem is, like, in basketball especially, you can literally rest. I don't know if they're changing the rules on that. I heard some rumblings, but like, if a player is exhausted, essentially, he's allowed to rest. Like, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's great. Well, and this will be my last comment on this because it is getting a little late. But one of the main things that you said about like the body shape and the image and all that stuff, obviously you know who Pete Alonso is. Pete Alonso, one of the things that made him such an icon with the fan base was that he didn't look like your average superstar. He just looked like a thick-thighed kid. He looks, you know what he looks like? When he came up and he was kicking ass, he looked like your little super talented, redneck, humble, fat kid from your little league team that for some reason was a beast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't like the quick, like the coach's son that was the pitcher. He wasn't like the fast kid that was the shortstop. Like, he was just the kid that was good, and he just like, he was a little chubby, and then it's funny And to prove your point even more about the whole image and how they want the athletes to look like athletes, they interviewed him and they were like, how do you keep so strong and blah, blah, blah? And he was like, yeah, chocolate milk and squats, dude. That's all it takes. That's why my legs are like this. I'll never do cardio or none of that shit.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, man. But yeah, he doesn't look like your average player, and he was amazing. Obviously, whatever goes up must come down, and there's been times that he's been not doing well. But you know, like his breakout when everything was so high for Pete, he was just there. It looked like he was having fun. It looked like there was no stress, and that's what it goes down to too. Like it's not like an Aaron Judge that like, and I keep saying this because it's just crazy what they're doing to him. Like, they just have him in the gym all day, every day, and they expect him not to get hurt. Like, dude, when is his muscles going to just recuperate?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
exactly.
We're talking about a guy that he's so good. Imagine if he was good 100% of the time. Like, you know, anyways.
That's the lesson, kids. That's the lesson. You don't need a chiseled body. Just eat whatever the fuck you want. Don't work out as much. Dig a couple holes in the backyard once in a while. Mow the lawn, and you're good to go.
Over your shoulders.
That's it. That's really it, man.